Yep, we're live. Okay, here we go. Good morning, everybody. I'm Wayne Campbell, and this is the driver's side. Real drivers, real talk. As people start to come up in here, I'm going to go ahead and go through the intro and explain what we got going on today and what we got coming. Today's going to be a good show. We got somebody special on today that I find really cool, and I'm happy to be part of what they're doing, and they're part of what we're doing. So they're about the driver. So first of all, if you guys haven't checked out the Driver's Side website, please check out thedriverside.org. You can find my wife's blogs, great pictures. You can book a show over there. There's t-shirts. There's all kinds of stuff over there. Upcoming events. I know that there's not much going on in the trucking industry right now because, well, what's going on? But I do plan on being at Gear Jammer's Magazine Truck Show with SPB Trucking, Rob Hallahan, a whole bunch of people there. At Gear Jammer Magazine Truck Show. So that is going to happen as long as they don't cancel it. The driver's side will be there and we'll be in full swing. You know, we had so much plan, and the side railing of this has been devastating to the driver's side. So, but today I have a guest that's our sponsor. Our sponsor's here today, and they're here to talk about trucker tools. If you guys haven't noticed, a new app is rolling out. It's all new. It's great. It's got truck washes, fuel optimizer. It's got we're actually going to talk to this gentleman from Trucker Tools here in a second, and he's going to explain. I'm going to have him break it down for us because, man, I'm excited. And it sucks because I was supposed to be at Matt's with these guys, and I was supposed to, do this at Matt's, and here I am at the house because of what's going on. I want to say thank you to everybody out there that's still out there trucking and that's keeping this country going, especially during this time. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to jump into today's show. It's going to be about the Trucker Tools app and what they have to offer to the driver. It is absolutely free. So make sure you go over, check it out, and download it and be ready for what you're going to get, because it's got COVID useful links over COVID-19 useful links over there. It's got a book it now. It's got truck washes. It's got everything. So with no longer ado, I'm going to go bring in Prasad from Trucker Tools. Okay. So let me go ahead and make sure I can run this correctly. Prasad, you there, sir?
Yes, Wayne. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning. We are live on Facebook, and I appreciate you being here.
Oh, thank you very much for having me on your show.
So let's go ahead and start with this. Could you start off with telling us a little bit about Trucker Tools and your role in the company?
Sure. Before I get into this, I just want to thank everyone out on the road, all the truckers. In times like this, truckers are actually keeping us moving forward. They're risking their lives. So thank you very much. Shout out to all the truckers out on the road for keeping us, moving along. So that's it. My role is I'm the founder and CEO of Trucker Tools. And Trucker Tools is, as you said it very well, it's an app for the driver, primarily an owner operator or a small carrier driver or a medium-sized carrier driver. The app is for the driver on the road. We call it, it's a lifestyle app. And what it does is it brings a lot of things that the drivers need on the road, whether it's parking, cheapest fuel, truck stop guide, the most accurate truck stop guide. We update the truck stop guide every night. Truck wash places, weigh scales, rest areas. We even have FMCSA approved medical examiners. So it's an app that has a collection of things. It's an all-in-one app for the truckers.
So are you saying it's a one-stop shop app?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
You know what? I actually, Prasad, on a personal level, I was on my way to Texas a month and a half ago to visit my grandkids and my daughter, and I get on those back roads and I get into my phone like I shouldn't when I'm driving, and I realized I didn't stop and get gas. I pulled up the Trucker Tools app, and it found me the closest gas station and got me what I needed. It got me gas. So shout out to you guys over there, because you guys are, and you're about the mom and pop shops too. You're not just about the big fuel stops. You also have mom and pops and stuff like that. That's what I love is you support, not just you support everybody. It seems like on that app.
Yes, absolutely. It is about a more comprehensive truck stop guide, right? Everything that we did, that we put on the app, our goal is, first of all, every feature out there that you see in the app came from truckers. They basically, they'll say, hey, I'm using your app, why can't I see this? I give you a good example: Walmart listing. One time truckers basically said, hey, why don't you put Walmart listing in the app? Because we use Walmart listing for both parking and also to buy groceries. So why can't you put that listing? So we have that listing, right? So it's the app was driven by the truckers in many ways. What goes on the app. The second thing is, anything that we try to put on the app, our main goal is to validate that data rather than just put it out. And if you can't help, a friend of mine in trucking said this: if you send the trucker to a wrong place where the truck stop doesn't exist there, a 4 or 5 mile out of his way could cost him a lot of pain. It's not a they're not driving a small car.
You're right about that. That's a and that's exactly 100% right. It could put them in a predicament to where they can't get out of, and it actually could to turn into calling the authorities to help them get out of a certain area because they got themselves in a jam. So here's a question for you, Prasad. What sets the Trucker Tools app aside from the others?
um, we already touched on the very first one, which is all-in-one app. The idea behind that is, we're not asking the trucker to use multiple apps. When you ask a trucker to use multiple apps, it's very fragmented. And the second part is, truckers' life is pretty much kind of, everything is tied, right? When a trucker gets a load, they're stopping at a place to get fuel, or before, right? When they stop, they're also planning ahead and saying, hey, do I need to, should I take my lunch break here or a breakfast break, all right? Or then they're also thinking about parking overnight. So all these things are stacked, right? And the moment they get, again, we're talking about small carriers or owner operators. The moment they pick up a load, they're thinking about finding the load at their destination already, right? So having an app that connects all these dots, or points of interest, or services, is an important thing, because you're not going to use another app to find a truck wash before you pick up a load, and find another app to find a load, right? It just fragments. That's the first thing. All in one adds value. The second part is providing accurate information to truckers, which we touched earlier. If we don't provide accurate information, we are speculating. It could be a little bit of an error there could cause a lot of pain for the trucker on the
You ain't, you ain't
road.
lying. It's the tiny things that matter to drivers, and it's a lot of moving intricate part. It's a lot of small intricate parts that move together, and they all have to work together at once, and between weather and this and that, and then, but like you said, it's asking truck drivers to use multiple apps is crazy. I was actually talking to the wife about Trucker Tools, and I was like, just tap the app for that because it's got everything in there. So, all right, let's move on to the next question. What are some things that Trucker Tools is doing to help drivers to keep trucking during this pandemic?
So this is it's a crazy thing, right? Almost all of the country is working from home, and for truckers, there's no working from home. I mean, they are on the road,
They are home.
and you know, um, the restaurants, the places where they typically eat, they're either closed or they only allow takeouts, right? Um, Places where they are going to pick up the load or deliver the load, they have to watch out about sanitizing, right? I mean, hand washes and stuff like that. If if it's difficult for anyone sitting at home, these things, think about a trucker who's on the road. So our idea with COVID-19 is, it's a one easy page with everything all helpful resources for truckers. Say, for example, we spoke to a big broker. They said, Prasad, we are waiving the quick pay fee for the next 2 months for these truckers, small carriers especially. Right? It's a big thing. I mean, you think about it, adding a $30-$40 per load extra will come in handy at times like this. So putting that resource out there, we're not off. I mean, it's that benefit is coming from a broker, right? We're just a place to provide that information to the truckers. Someone said, "Hey, we're truck stops are they don't have the buffets anymore. We still are providing meals, prepackaged meals, right?" Um, we're basically aggregating all this information in one easy to find place for truckers, because you go online, you can't search for these things. So we're being there. The goal of trucker tools is to be a smart assistant for trucker on the road.
Right, right, and it's actually really easy because if drivers don't know that when you go to the Trucker Tools app, right at the top, it's got and you can see right here on the screen, guys, it's got the COVID-19 useful links, and it's got a lot of good stuff on there. So all right, Prasad, I appreciate that, and it's important because the things that are going down today is it's not easy on the driver right now. It's
Mhm.
really not, and they really need as much help as they can get and use as much as they can get right now in every area. So I know there's been a lot of buzz around the Book It Now feature. Tell me a little bit about that, Prasad, please.
So Book It Now is an extension of what we did so far. What we did so far was digital freight matching. We basically brought in available loads from all the brokers that a particular owner operator or a carrier works with in one place. Now, when we say all available loads, we're talking about these loads coming to our system before they even go to a public load board, like a DAT or a truck stop, right? So we bring these loads in real time. So these are not, when a load's not available, it's gone out of the system. There's no stale information, right? Um, what Book It Now does is it also provides an easier way for the trucker to book the load right from the app by clicking one button. Now, when the driver or the owner operator in this case clicks the button to book that load, our system basically triggers the rate confirmation in the broker system, takes that load, puts this carrier on that load, triggers the rate confirmation. All happening in real time. Sometimes there might be a few minutes delay, but the carrier would get the rate confirmation without any human interaction. Now, why this is very important is in times like this where most of the brokers are working from home or understaffed, um, and carriers are finding loads in the middle of the night, right? Having an automated system helps. I'm not saying all loads go through this, but most of the premium loads go through this so that, you know, the carriers don't have to sit there and negotiate a rate.
Right, right. I get it. I get it's something new that's coming. It's come to the industry, and you guys got it. And I think that this is going to be a useful tool in with carrier and drivers that know and carriers know that what they need to make. And they can get in there and they can see what that load's paying, and if it fits them, they can just book it and get on. So
You're absolutely right. And there are two or three things that make the Book It Now so special for a carrier. One is it also aligns with their lane preferences, their equipment type. So there's no, you know, is this a good fit for me or not is not the case, right? The second thing, even more important, is when a carrier or a trucker owner operator looks at this load. By the way, it's not necessarily just on our app, but a small carrier could also use our web portal, right? They see a particular load. They For every load, the, the trucker can also see the reloads. So for example, I'm looking at a load going from Atlanta to Chicago. I can see how many loads are coming out of Chicago after I deliver this load. So it's not just looking at one load, but like looking ahead, right? We call those as better reloads. We're always sending the truckers into locations where there are better reloads. And that's the name of the game, right? It's not just one load. You want to make profit on a load, but as an owner operator or a small carrier, your goal is always, I want to go into a market where there are many loads coming out, so I can get more. I can make money on my next load as well. Right.
Right. It's the goal is to keep on trucking with profit.
You're absolutely right. That's the thing.
It's like you said though, but drivers want to know when they're going into a market, when they're going into somewhere, they want to pre-plan. They want to pre-plan. They want to get their next load, and they want to know where they're going when they get there. It's tough. Like in Vegas, you get drivers that come into Vegas, and sometimes there's not a lot that comes out of Vegas, and they have, it's not an easy city. So pre-planning and knowing before you get to somewhere is very important. And
And
that's
this is very important, especially in times like this. Is if you look at carriers, especially smaller carriers, owner operators, most of the time, the reason why these carriers are not continuously successful, I'm talking about the ones that kind of fall under, right, is primarily because they happen to pick a load that puts them in a no man's land, or they're sitting there for a day or 2 days to get out, and they, I mean, all the profits they made in 1 week could be gone with one bad load.
yeah,
And that what kills the carrier, right? It's not rocket science how we could stitch these things together, right? So by connecting, so I go back to my original point on, when a broker is part of a trucker tools freight matching, digital freight matching, or book it now, we get the loads in real time. We're not speculating anything. The reason why this is critical is, when we show to a trucker that, hey, if you're going to book this load, there are these 50 loads coming out of Chicago for you, are real loads. That is very important information. The idea is, we're trying to help the trucker to think like a business person a little bit, look at 2 or 3 loads ahead, and capture those loads ahead of time rather than wait for
and that's important. It really is. It's important for drivers to be business. The business savvy in
it.
this industry is very important today, and to be very strategic in planning and executing your plan is very important. So, Prasad, what other features does the app offer that helps carriers do business?
Um, so one, we touched on the booking the loads, which is absolutely the key for success to start with. The second one is cheapest fuel. So we take the real time fuel prices from all the truck stops. Um, we update our fuel prices every hour in our system, and they are coming from the pump. These are not speculation anyway, right? Um, the So, with cheapest fuel, the idea is, it's not just showing you the cheapest fuel along the route, but if you have any fuel discounts that you get, we could superimpose those on the fuel prices, right? Then you can really plan ahead and say, I don't want to get fuel here. I want to drive another 30 miles and get fuel there. So cheapest fuel is an important one. Then even bigger problem that truckers face today is parking. Parking is probably one of the biggest hurdles. It's not, finding an empty parking spot itself is a challenge. But then the other problem is, where are the areas where there is more theft, right? So you don't want to be parking in areas where there is, those hot spots, right?
Right.
So what we did was, we started off with providing the parking locations through, looking at how many each truck stop has. But there are 2 or 3 things we are doing right now. We are bringing in private parking spots into the location, so there are more locations for the trucker to find out, not just the truck stops and rest areas and Walmarts and the usuals, right? These are private lots where they pay for it, right? uh, Oftentimes we're trying to use our might, because today we are approaching We are about 900,000 truckers on our platform, one of the largest platform, right? So we could use that leverage to get better rates
Right.
for our truckers. Then we're also working to add hotspots where there is theft, right? So just identifying those places and telling the truckers, hey, these areas are kind of prone to cargo theft. Just be watchful for that, right? The idea behind that again is to provide information that truckers could use to find better parking spots.
I like the fact that it's free too, Prasad. I do. I like the fact that it's free because I'm big on people looking out for I'm big on looking out for the driver. Okay, and it's important that drivers get correct information that they can use that
Mhm.
and not always being sold something. This app, from what I see, is it's great for the driver. It seems like you guys have the truckers back, and you're always continuing to look out for them, and you're not asking anything from them, but their input and to use truck and to download the app. And I can't thank you enough because it's important that drivers are safe and do have safe parking. It's sad that the trucking industry, that the truckers of America today haven't issued parking. That hurts me more than anything because there's been lives lost over parking, and it's sad.
Mhm.
There's actually a thing called Jason's Law, but that's another show. But Prasad, I just wanted to say thank you, and I want to say thank you for being on my team, and I'm proud to be on your team. It's important that people get together and help drivers today, and I feel like that's what you're doing.
Vin, thank you very much for saying that. And you know, we don't really see this as it is, right? Most of the times people get caught up in a lot of things, but you know, when the trucker on the road is happy, successful, everybody in supply chain, everybody in transportation wins. We all win when the small trucker wins. And it's not rocket science for all of us to focus our goals on that person, right? Especially in times like this, small carriers and owner operators are the backbone, truly, because without them we wouldn't be able to really move the freight the way we are moving, and they are the backbone, right? Our goal as trucker tools is always be supportive of that community. And that's the reason why our app is always free. That's the pledge we have taken. I have taken when I started the company, that we never want to charge truckers for anything.
And you said something, and it kind of makes my hair stand up because it touches me to my deepest part of my soul. Is I think we went from the backbone to the heartbeat right
Mhm.
now because they're pumping everything. I mean, everything's depending on a truck like it always does. But in the most crucial times, we always depend on the truck driver.
It is so true. I mean, people are afraid to go out and be in public places today, and truckers are putting their lives at risk and delivering the essentials. I mean, think about all the medical essentials that are going into hot zones like New York, New Jersey, all those areas, right? Truckers are delivering that. I mean, they are fearless, right? In many ways, they are, they're really the heroes of our society.
They're my heroes. They always have been, and they always will be. We can go on and on, Prasad, but we got to wrap it up. We're going to
Absolutely.
because I know because here's the one thing I do know about you, and it's not, and I've heard this through the industry because people talk in the industry is that at the heart you are for the driver and you care about the driver. So that I know that me and you can get into this conversation and go on and on and on how important the driver is and how much we care about, how much you take care of him. But you already are taking care of him, and you're continuing to take care of him. I want to say thank you, and please continue to look out for them because they need everybody on their team.
Thank you very much for saying that. And, we're very glad to be in this market with the truckers. And like you said, anyone out there um, who is a user, who has our app, or who is going to download our app, the one thing we request from them is if there is anything that we could do to better your life, let us know. consider this app as a collective responsibility.
And I can actually vouch for that. I've talked to the team, and they've asked, and I gave my input. They hear me, and that's important. Prasad, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on the show. I'm going to go ahead and let you go and then wrap this up. And I hope to talk to you soon and tell everybody at Trucker Tools that we said hello and that we care about them too. Because also the people that do things behind the scenes are a very intricate part of an app. You know, Dagma is Dagma? Dagmara. I know there's Dagmar. There's a lot of people over there that I really like. Michelle, Dagmar, they've been very good with us. I appreciate you, Prasad.
Thank you very much. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So that's Prasad from Trucker Tools, and that's our sponsor, and I'm proud of it. You know, it's during times like this that we need each other. It doesn't matter at this point in the world, is everybody needs each other right now. It's a scary time, and they provided a link for the help for drivers, and that's what I love. And I love it's the new apps rolling out. It's got truck washes. It's got everything. It's the one-stop shop app. I mean, if you need something, tap the app. It's right there for you guys. I can't be going to the truck stop late night. Justin Spiess, I had a good time last night. Great interview yesterday. You know, it's been a joy this weekend. Even during this time, I've had a blast this weekend. I don't, you know, with Brandon McDaniel and Scott Heavy Hall with the parade for his daughter of trucks, practicing the social distancing, of adapting in these times. I've had a blast doing it, actually. I'm trying to get a response out of my wife, but I'm not going to get anything. She's over there doing her thing. But I want to say thank you, Trucker Tools, and everybody over at Trucker Tools. Remember, guys, they're there for you. Download the app. The new one's rolling out. You are the heartbeat of America, and you should be treated like the heartbeat of America. Look, I need drivers for next week's show. I'm doing a show next Sunday night. Reach out, guys. I want to do a show on regards of hours of service, detention, and safety, just in general. Or let's talk trucking. Remember, guys, you're the heartbeat of America. You should be treated like the heartbeat of America. Always keep your shiny side up, rubber side down, and make money in the trucking industry. You have to keep that left door closed.